तो I think everybody must be tired or they want to go home early. So सबसे पहले जो आज का टॉपिक है obesity with CKD. I think because we are handling obesity for last 19 years, I have been seeing patients for obesity. What I have seen कि अगर मोटापा है साथ में तो ना सिर्फ किडनी बल्कि सारे ऑर्गन्स पे इफेक्ट पड़ता है, हार्ट पे, लंग्स पे, सारे ऑर्गन्स पे इसका इफेक्ट पड़ता है. लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ी बात देखी गई, मुझे एक छोटी सी इंसिडेंट याद है. 2014 में राजभवन में कार्यक्रम था जिसमें सम्मानित करने के लिए बुलाया गया. तो वहाँ पे प्रोफेसर कपूर थे जो SGPGI के डायरेक्टर हैं, और उन्होंने एक पेशेंट रिफर किया जो 132 किलो का पेशेंट था, 132 kg का पेशेंट था, और उसकी नेफ्रेक्टमी हो गई थी, यानी एक किडनी निकाल दी गई थी, ऑपरेट कर दिया गया था, सिंगल किडनी बची थी जिसपे फंक्शनिंग चल रही थी. और उन्होंने कहा कि डॉक्टर माथुर इनका वेट कम करिए. अब 132 किलो का आदमी, उसका वजन कम करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि क्रेटिनिन लेवल 6.8 था. तो बहुत सारी परेशानियां हुई कि कैसे हैंडल किया जाए इन पेशेंट्स को. तो तब जाकर रियलाइज हुआ कि मोटापा कितना बड़ा दुश्मन है गुर्दे का, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं किडनी का. और तब से आज तक बहुत फर्क पड़ा है, बहुत सारी साइंस डेवलप हुई है, बहुत सारी चीज़ डेवलप हुई है. तो डॉक्टर अर्चना भदौरिया बहुत सीनियर नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट हैं कानपुर की, हमारी IMA की प्रेसिडेंट रही हैं, और आई थिंक सबसे अच्छा ये इसके बारे में डिटेल बता पाएंगी. प्रोफेसर VN त्रिपाठी हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं जो DGME थे, इन्होंने बहुत मोटापे पे काम किया हुआ है. तो आज हम लोग की टॉक और इनका लेक्चर हम लोग हाईलाइटेड होंगे कि क्या क्या लेटेस्ट हो रहा है. मैडम.
Thank you, Dr. Mathur, for this good introduction of the subject. And we will be talking on obesity and kidney diseases, lifestyle modification. इसके solutions हम लोग को पिछले 2 lectures में मिल चुके हैं. अब हम लोग समस्या क्या है इसके बारे में discuss करेंगे. So we have one index case. He is Mr. Kumar, who is 53-year-old, a computer operator, and he is suffering from hypertension, gout, heart disease, and chronic kidney disease. And recently he suffered from pain in great toe. He took indomethacin and then consequently had low urine output. He weighs about 144 kg, maintains a blood pressure of 170/90. He has got swelling around his ankles. His hemoglobin is low, it is 9.3 gram per dl, and urine is showing 180 milligram of proteinuria. His blood urea nitrogen is 83 and creatinine is 4.2 milligram. 3 months back it was 2.7 milligram. Uric acid is high, 9.2, and kidneys ultrasound is showing bilateral small contracted kidneys. Now this gentleman has some, he is an obese gentleman and who is having hyperuricemia, hypertension, and so many other comorbid conditions. So our main concern as clinician for Mr. Kumar is that we have to control his blood pressure, we have to look after his gout, and we have to look after his deteriorating kidney functions, we have to protect his heart, and we have to manage his obesity, which is the mother of all his ailments. So his problems were addressed. He was given advice of weight reduction and he was told about its health benefits as discussed by Dr. Tumveer Singh and Dr. Srivastav. General advices were given on weight reduction, was asked to follow a low calorie diet under a supervision of dietitian. He was advised to start exercises, and some drugs to control obesity were advised, but they were not given because of his renal status. So he followed some of these advices and he managed to lose 2 to 3 kg of weight, but he again regained. And he needed additional help to achieve weight goals. What is obesity? It is again a disease. It is when you are having weight more than what is desirable for you, which is not matched for your age and height. It is obesity. And it is now becoming an endemic situation. Prevalence is increasing over last 3 decades, and even children are affected by it. And it is, the projection is that by next decade it will increase to 40%. So 40 out of 100 people would be obese. And even low and middle income countries like our country is also showing a transition towards obesity. So it is no longer the disease or a thing of worry for affluent countries. And it has become a it will become a worldwide epidemic by 21st century. And because of obesity, we are likely to suffer from diabetes, from dyslipidemia, from cardiovascular diseases, from chronic kidney diseases, and several cancers. Because God has made our structure, our internal organs to support a certain weight only. But if we overload those organs, they get overwhelmed and then they start getting diseased. So how do we approach obesity? First, we have to accept that we are obese. We have to quantify the problem. We have to see the etiology. We have to identify the complications and then develop a management plan. So as for assessment of obesity, there are some certain anthropometric parameters like body mass index, waist circumference, waist hip ratios, and then we take help of certain instruments like hydrodensitometer, bioelectrical impedance, DEXA scan, CT MRI scans, etc. So this is waist circumference measured. DEXA scan, this is a machine. So how do we see it? It is body mass index, we all know. How do we calculate it? It is weight in kg divided by height in meter squared. And it is less than 24.9 is normal. If it is between 25 to 30, we classify it as overweight. If it is 30 to 35, class 1 obese, 35 to 40, class 2 obese, and more than 40, class 3 obese. And waist circumference, for males it is between 94 to 102, and for females it is 80 to 88 centimeters. And if it is more than 102 in males and more than 88 centimeters in females, they are obese. So obesity is of two types. We see always dish-shaped persons. Either it is android or apple-shaped, where the middle gets fat, and other is the pear-shaped, where they deposit fat in the bottom. So this is apple-shaped obesity and pear-shaped obesity. Central obesity, more central obesity in apple-shaped people, and pear-shaped, they are more heavy at the bottom. So obesity results in discrepancy between energy intake and expenditure. We are eating more and spending less, then we get obese. Even if we take continuously small increase in energy intake, calorie intake, to the tune of 100 to 200 kilocalories per day, we are likely to land up with increased weight of 2 to 10 kgs over 5 to 10 years. And pandemic of obesity reflects changes in both energy intake and expenditure. It is a mismatch. And in Indian example, 5% of the affluent are getting 40% of the food, leading to obesity, while the rural communities are suffering from undernutrition. In affluent societies, a significant proportion of food supply is discarded. And we are getting now all the fast foods, they are giving large portions of fast food. So this means we are consuming more calories per service of calorie dense foods such as cold drinks, salty snacks, etc. Then there is some genetic susceptibility also to obesity, and its adverse consequences varies with individual. Majority of the obese have polygenic disorders with small contribution from number of genes, which regulate appetite and metabolism. Some people we have heard saying, "Hawa bhi khate hain, pani peete hain, andar jaake desi ghee ban jata hai." These sort of comments are there. Genes also influence fat distribution, and therefore the risk of metabolic consequences of obesity. And there are few genes which have been identified, mutation of melanocortin 4 receptors, defects in enzyme processing, pro-melanocortins, mutation in leptin genes. So there are certain reversible causes of weight gain. Certain diseases, in certain disease states also, we tend to get obese, such as hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism, people will eat less, but they keep on gaining weight. Cushing syndrome, insulinomas, and hypothalamic tumors or injuries. Certain drugs, if the patient is consuming, like antipsychotic drugs, or some patients are suffering from schizophrenia or psychosis, and the doctor has prescribed drugs, they tend to get overweight. If they are taking some anticonvulsants like sodium valproate, they are taking sulfonylurea, thiazolidinones, insulins, glucocorticoids, beta blockers, etc. So drug-induced obesity is also there. Otherwise, most of the time it is the person is having obesogenic environment. There is increased energy intake versus decreased energy expenditure. Increased portion sizes, increased snacking, increased consumption of energy dense foods, and increased affluence. And decreased expenditure, they are having cars for everything, they drive even to the small distances also, they do not walk to school and work. Increased automation, everything is mechanized, so there is very less efforts from the individual. Decreased sports activity in the school and colleges, and increased time spent on computers, on games and watching televisions, and central heating, because you are very comfortable. On cold nights, you don't want to go out for jogging and running, just as Dr. Singh had just said. Obesity-linked diseases. What happens if we get obese? We are more susceptible to stroke. We make ourselves susceptible to diabetes, some metabolic syndromes, hypertension, cardiac diseases. We get sleep apneas. We get so fat that our tongue gets so fat that it falls behind when we are sleeping, and then we keep snoring, and that is known as sleep apnea. Gastrointestinal problems, always we are having a sensation of bloating, pet full hai, gas hai, it is not gas, it is simply a consequence of obesity. Gallbladder diseases, gallstones, fatty females, they tend to get gallstones, colorectal cancers. Then obesity related glomerulopathies, nephrolithiasis, that is kidney stones, renal cell carcinomas, menstrual disturbances, polycystic ovarian diseases. These are there. And what is the pathogenesis of CKD in obesity? Because now we have seen that obesity what it tends to do, it tends to cause hypertension, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. And 40% of the diabetics tend to get chronic kidney diseases. 40% of the hypertensives tend to get chronic kidney diseases. So it is an indirect effect of diabetes and other metabolic diseases that our kidneys get affected. So how do we treat obesity in CKD? Same modalities: control of diet, exercise, behavioral therapies, pharmacological therapies, and last, if nothing works, bariatric procedures. And choice would depend upon the degree of obesity, certain comorbid conditions which are existing, and patient's preference and readiness to make lifestyle changes. So this is a diagram which would show how therapeutic options are chosen. If the obesity, it is simply overweight, then increasing exercises at the bottom of the base of the pyramid. Eating behavior modifications and treatment of cardiovascular risk factors would suffice. Otherwise, supervised low-calorie diet, certain drugs, and then surgeries. So again, if it is overweight or grade 1 obesity, comprehensive lifestyle interventions, like Dr. Santosh Kumar had said, 7 things which he told us. Diet and exercise and abstinence from alcohol and stop of smoking and tobacco chewing. Some drugs can be used. If it is morbid obesities, then interventions like bariatric procedures have to be done. So low calorie diet therapy for obesity. Normal distribution of calories is that about 50% of our diet should come from carbohydrates, 30% from fat, and 15% from protein. So if we have to reduce our fat diet, then 60% of the calories should come from carbohydrates, 25 from fat, and 15 from proteins. If we need a very low carbohydrate diet, then 10% from carbohydrate, 60% from fat and 30% from protein. High protein diet would mean less of carbohydrates and proteins are increased to 27%. Low fat diet would mean more of carbohydrates to maintain the energy level, kilocalories per day. And less fat, instead of 30, 13% from fat, and little rise in protein, 17% from fat. So this is the glycemic index which we heard, a Gandhian diet. Maybe all the low glycemic foods are what Dr. Gandhi ji has advocated. Low glycemic index means, a glycemic index is how much blood sugar would 100 gram consumption of any food item would give. So a low glycemic is not more than 55 milligrams rise in sugar. Medium glycemic index food would be 56 to 69 milligram of blood sugar, rise in blood sugar. And high glycemic index is when we consume those foods, our blood sugar rises to more than 70 milligram. So we can see in this chart, all the things which Gandhiji had told are low glycemic index food. And all the food that are tasty and which we want to eat, they are high glycemic index food. So we should not be guided by our taste when we are taking food. And these are certain formulas by which we determine the energy expenditure, that is basal metabolic rates for males and females. Actual weight multiplied by 0.06 plus 2.9 into 240 kilocalories. So we can divide our people into three categories: sedentary people, intermediate, and high basal metabolic rate. And then we can calculate the total energy expenditures. This is for all those who are into nutrition and who would be counseling these obese patients. Lifestyle modification would mean to minimize obesogenic environment, change in eating behavior, regular eating to encourage satiety. We cannot just eat leaves and raw food. Our satiety centers will not be stimulated. So certain food have to be taken so that we are feeling satiated after eating. हमें तृप्ति मिलनी चाहिए खाने के बाद. So selection of these portions should be small, and we should avoid snacking. Maximizing physical activities, and these should be incorporated in routine as this is likely to be sustained. Thank you so much.
नहीं, जो आखिरी तक रुकता है उसको पैसे भी ना मिलते. दिन अटेंड किया, अभी आप घर जाएंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कहीं पे भी. तो सुबह से आइए 8:45 से, कल बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट लेक्चर्स हैं और सबको अटेंडेंस पूरी रहे. धन्यवाद. और इसके बाद अभी 8 बजे से कल्चरल नाइट भी है, सेम वेन्यू जहाँ कल हुआ था।
बंद करो